Well, we know who's who today, huh? It's a thin line. It's a thin line between love and hate. It's a thin line. Let me see, I could count. 1, 2, 3. This first weekend I could count. I appreciate all of you tremendously for your love, your support, your consistency. Now let's go.
Hey, Coach RK from
I'm
DN.
sorry.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, Jim. DN, Lam, J.J. Hawkins, Students of the Week, Sociology, sophomore from Miami. Brandon Miller as well, Exploratory Studies, freshman from Littleton, Colorado. They are the Student Athletes of the Week, Student Academic Athletes of the Week. We like to just give that note because that's tremendous as well. Now let's go.
How you doing, Coach?
What's going on, boss?
You said it's a thin line between love and hate, right?
Yeah.
We ask you a lot, I feel like, about the hate, but I was just curious if you felt the love. What that means to you.
First of all, hate that comes along with the territory. You know that. The love has been tremendous. Like I reiterate every week, just walking out there to a packed stadium, seeing the pandemonium around the city and your friends and family members that's coming in, explaining to you what it's like to come through the airport to Denver with all the Colorado apparel on and driving into the stadium for myself, seeing all ethnicities, in unity. I love it. So the love nationally, even from the celebs that you see and the ones that are in the luxury boxes that you don't see, is tremendous. And the faithfuls. I have the absolute utmost respect because they believe, and you all believe, in the group here as well. Not all of you in here believe, but, maybe 85% of you believe.
Hey, Coach. Brian Howard
What's
from
going on,
Daily
boss?
Camera. I don't know if you believe in the term teams being battle-tested, but you guys have been through, a really tough first 5 weeks. How valuable is the first 5 weeks?
Well, every game is of value. Every game is of value. Every game is that you learn something or you glean something from, or a player allows you to know who they are, good or bad or indifferent. Coaches reveal themselves also, as well as guys that's trying to earn a position on special teams. So we learn and we glean a lot every week. It's up to us to put these players in the right situations and to take what we learn and we glean every week to put it on top of this week's game plan and prayerfully do right by it. We got to do right by it. We can't just do the same old stuff we've been doing. We got a receiver who went for almost 200 yards, Mario, right? We got to get him the ball, right? We got to get 10 the ball. We got to get 5 the ball. We got to Dylan. Come on. We got to get Dylan the ball. We got to do the things that helps us win and put our defense in the right situations as well. But those guys got to make plays.
Hi, Coach.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Excellent.
Nikki Edwards, CU Sports Report. I'm curious on how Travis Hunter is healing and
Travis
when you
is
expect
doing
him to
well.
return.
I'm sorry. I always jumped you guys because I'm excited.
How Travis Hunter is healing and when you expect him to return.
Travis is doing well. He was out at practice today coaching his butt off. He's one of the best coaches we have. He's on, Kamani, he's on his butt. He's on his butt day in and day out. And Travis is, I say, maybe a week or two being allowed. Let's say 2 or 3. It would be my dream and desire for him to stay out until after the bye week. But I know Travis, he's going to want to, because he's going to see Shiloh most likely. There's a chance, a possibility, a prayer that you may see Slusher. You may see several, starters of that secondary that's supposed to be in there, and I know he's going to want to join. But I would love him to be out until the bye. That gives him like 3 extra weeks.
Hi, Coach. Adam Munster Tiger, 24/7 Sports. Cameron Stillman Craig's been on this journey with you for a little while, and he leads the Pac-12 interceptions right now.
Is that awesome?
Any unique?
Hold on. You can't just run past that. Like, didn't this guy come from Jackson? Yeah. The HBCU guys, they don't supposed to be able to play at this level, right? And he is balling, man. I mean, I've coached him since high school. He's nothing but a classy individual, does his schoolwork, yes sir, no sir type of guy, come from a great home, a great family, loves his siblings. I mean, he is a good football player and a good person, man. I'm so proud of him, I don't know what to do.
Does he have some unique qualities that
He's a dog. He's a go-getter. He don't play hurt. Like, if he's hurt, for real, because you got to pull him off the darn field. Always wants to practice, works his butt off in the weight room as well. Just a great kid. He's when you say smart, tough, fast, disciplined, with character, he is all of that. He checks every box, and I'm proud of him.
Hey, Coach. Jake Schwannis, DNVR.
How you doing?
Doing great, sir. How are you?
Excellent.
Just curious if you have any history with Coach Dillingham and just your thoughts on ASU.
Yeah, got great history. I don't know if he want me to tell this story, but I was assembling a staff once upon a time. I'm not going to tell you who, for what, but he was a part of it. And we communicated quite a bit. And I was happy with every step that he's taken because I know he's that guy. I know he's been more than capable. So when I saw him get this opportunity, I was ecstatic. You know, then we saw him at saw one another at the Pac-12 meetings, and that was like, yeah, that embrace was awesome to me because I know his climb, and I know what kind of man he is, and he is great for that program. He's great for college football. He is a tremendous mind, offensively, tremendous mind, but he's going to be a great head coach, man. So I have the utmost respect and love and admiration for him because we were going to work together at one point. Excuse me? I mean, they play tough. They don't give up. It ain't no quit in them, of course. I mean, that's who he is. They're like us. They're building something that's going to be tremendous. You just got to keep watching the story and see how it unfolds. But you can't take a team like that lightly whatsoever, negate the records, negate all that nonsense, and understand this team is building something, and they're going to be phenomenal. I believe in Coach Dillingham tremendously.
Coach, Matt Smith, 104.3 The Fan.
Yes, sir.
You know, we don't get a ton of time to talk to you, but I wanted to ask you something off of that, kind of broad strokes. What is your opinion on the NCAA and the way that universities handle punishment, right? For instance, with ASU. What type of punishment? Well, for ASU, how they have the self-imposed postseason ban this year.
What happened?
Well, there were.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm so locked into this.
It's all good. It's all good. It's just more of a broad strokes thing that there are situations where, for fear of further repercussion from the NCAA, schools will self-impose bans based upon history rather than what's happening with the current student athletes.
My mama used to hand out whoopings, you know, back in the day, right? So if I did something stupid, you know, I was like, Mom, you know what? I don't even want to go to the game tonight. I'm not even going because I know that would lessen the whooping, all right? So if that's what they're doing, I understand because I've done that before. Like, Mom, I ain't going to the fair. I'm good, all right? You got to spend no more money on me. I'm straight. No, you come on in and go get that belt.
Right. Thank you. I appreciate that. The one question I wanted to ask is we got a chance to talk to Shedeur about it after the game, but we didn't talk to you about it.
Okay.
Just your thoughts on the last 6 minutes, and you only had one timeout. You get the ball back with 5:58.
Oh,
just
slow down,
just
slow
your
down.
thoughts on your approach.
One at a time. I'm old, 56. I just look good. We had one timeout because we had exhausted on foolishness of personnel, special teams personnel, defense. I'd rather take a timeout than risk 6 points, not having 10 people on the field. So not having enough time, I understand that because in those moments, the now is more important than the future. Because if you don't take care of the now, you're not going to make it to the future. So that's how I went about that. But it's foolish. It's foolish stuff. There's things that we went over this morning in our team meeting. We can't dismantle ourselves with that foolishness of personnel. We got to know that. We go over that stuff every Friday. If somebody goes down, the next guy up. But we can't have the coaches going to find somebody. When that guy goes down back in the day, when little Timmy at the end of the bench, if he wanted to play, he was ready. He couldn't. That guy went down. He ran out there. And we sit up there waiting to be located. And I don't understand that. You got to want that stuff.
So that was the timeouts. But
Yes, sir.
Shedeur was talking about how he checked into a lot of those runs. And
Yeah.
situationally, you need 2 scores there.
True. But
did you like the way you handled it, or maybe would you change some things going back and looking at the film?
Let me see. Shedeur. His quarterback rating is 441. leads the nation. Fourth quarter, he's completing 79%. Quarterback rating of 222. And you think I'm going to change anything about him? No. I would take the good and the bad. I take it. He knows what he needs to do. He knows what he needs to work on.
Coach, I'm just curious, because you're focused, like you said, you listen to some noise, I think, but you don't listen to all the noise that comes in. What do you say when people like local people here, Buffs people say, Deion for life, man. How can we get this guy to a lifetime contract? How do we keep him and keep what we got?
If I listen to that, I'm going to have to listen to this. You can't choose that and not accompany it with this. So either I'm going to be in it, or I'm going to be out of it. That's a wonderful gesture. I love it. But I'm smart enough to know and old and wise enough to know that that can flip on you instantaneous. A fan only blows when you're hot. My mama said that, not me. So if y'all want to be mad, get mad at my mama, okay?
Hey, Coach.
Yes, sir.
Jason Jones from Buffs Beat. In the offseason, during the recruiting cycle,
Yes, sir.
Amari Miller was a noteworthy name, but you mentioned on Saturday that you had not seen a ton from him in practice. Was Saturday confirmation of what you saw in recruiting?
Well, we see a lot of things in recruiting, but you got to understand this is a tremendous transition from a high school guy being the guy, and everywhere he walks in the hallway, people are clapping. Ain't nobody clapping here unless you do something. That's just the nature of the game and the nature of the land. And the thing that those young guys have going against them is you got a pro quarterback that's not going to tolerate foolishness and not going to tolerate drops and not running the route at the right distance and not getting all the checks. That cripples young kids. I mean, you rarely see youngsters that are prominent with I would say veteran, but a poised quarterback, even in the NFL. That's tough. But for him to step up, even though he didn't practice worth a darn last week, to step up. I challenged him yesterday, and I got a dear friend that called me and summoned me to get him on the phone to FaceTime. Wanted to talk to him and wanted to let him know that he has a tremendous gift. And I don't know what the conversation was, but I know I just handed him the phone. I said, somebody wants to talk to you. He looked at the phone like, oh, my God. Yeah, it was Snoop. Snoop wanted to talk to Amari. He wanted to challenge him, and I challenged him about it's one thing when they don't expect nothing. Now all of you expect something, so you're gonna be on his butt, on his back, with your hands around his throat, like, come on, we want to see what we saw against USC. So to prepare with the expectation is tremendous. That was our word of the day, expectation. We defined that, we talked through it, and I made a point that it's not the expectation that others have of you. It's the expectation that you have of yourself that should matter the most. Thank you.
Hey, Coach.
How you doing, sir?
Nice.
I love all the veterans, all the regulars. I mean, I appreciate you guys, man.
Hey, you're accomplishing many great things here at CU with attendance and wins and all that. And I guess you had that moment with Travis and Henry, a character moment. I guess above everything else, how do you coach character, and do character wins like that mean more than anything?
Well, you recruit character, and you try to lead by example with character. Many people wore the bracelet years ago, what would Jesus do? Even though you don't have it around your wrist, you should have it in your heart. And you got to think of that person that you really look up to the most. What would they do in that situation? Hopefully that's parents or grandparents or loved ones. So we recruit character. We try best to recruit character, but sometimes we miss. And then we have to dismiss character. And you guys get upset about it, and you guys get all flustered about it, but you don't understand it's not just talent. Oftentimes it's character, because you got to get those kids out of your locker room where they were poisoning the whole bunch. Like, I pay attention to everything. Like, when we getting our butts kicked on that sideline, I wanted to see who wasn't with it, who wasn't in it, who had already given up, who had already shut it down, who was ready, who was standing up to the challenge, who was ready to go get it, who was ready to fight. I watch all of that, because that tells you more about your team than anything they could do on the field. So I look for those type of intangibles. Great question.
Hi, Coach. Troy Finnegan, CU Sports Report. You're always in the national spotlight, but this upcoming game has a little bit of a different feel in the sense that it's less talked about, less in the spotlight than the previous 5 that you played. Do you even notice that? Does it make a difference to you in any way?
We could care less. I mean, we're going to be on somebody's television. I promise you that. We're going to be on somebody's television, and we got to go out there and exceed expectation. We really do. It doesn't matter if we're on a national stage or not. We're national. People understand that we're here, and they understand that we're coming, and they understand that what we're building. So we just got to have a consistency and a continuation, especially early on. The challenge and the goal this week, we got to win the first and second quarter. That's the challenge, and that's the goal. We're going to win the first and second quarter.
Hi, Coach. Rylan Scholes with Ralphie Report.
What, Ralphie Report?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I didn't know Ralphie had a report. Ralphie got it going on.
Yeah. So you mentioned that Travis has been one of your best coaches, and we saw him coaching Omarion and Cormani on the sideline last week. Is that something that you kind of instructed him to do, or is that something that he took upon himself?
You don't instruct dogs to be dogs. That's just who he is. I mean, I don't know if you watched, or you guys are not in practice, but Shador, after a pass play or whatever, he's always coaching the receivers, even sometimes in the game saying this, and this. So those type of guys, that's who they are. That's what they do because they want everyone to come up. You know, when everyone comes up, we're better as a whole. But Travis just took it upon himself to do what he does. That's what he does. When he's on the field, he's challenging that other corner because he knows that other corner is going to get a whole lot of balls. They really are. But I'm loving what I'm seeing, man. You know, when Kamani get his thing together in its totality and mentally, you know, ready to compete every single play, and Travis and Shiloh, Slusher be back. I mean, come on, man. Come on. Like, this is something, it's going to be something to behold in the secondary.
I have 2 questions for you.
Yes, sir.
One at a time. Savon Washington, is he going to be back at some point this year?
Yeah, this year, yeah, but not this week for certain. Not this week. But I tell you what, man, that young man played his butt off. He was in tears on the sideline because he couldn't go back in. And I know Pastor Smith prayed with him on the sideline, and he told me the next day how much that meant to him. Great kid, been fighting his butt off. We had another private meeting we had with him last week to just take that ownership of that offensive line and make it his. And he was fighting his butt off. And he's one of the kids. I adore them all, but he has a special place in my heart because he really wants it. He really does.
And the second question for you is, you were very complimentary of the special teams before the season. You were excited about that group.
Yeah.
How surprised are you that they've struggled as much as
No, we hadn't been special. It's just a little play here and there, a little bonehead play. I mean, Mata was supposed to kick that field goal. You all know that. You know how much I love my Mata. He hadn't missed. I mean, he had an extra point block, but he hadn't missed, as well as the punt. We just got to just punt the darn ball. We don't need the rugby style this thing. Punt the darn ball. The top returner wasn't even in the game. So those are just little things that we could fix. But we could fix those instantly. We just got to fix them.
Ariel Orsuto, 9 News. First,
are you going to stop introducing yourself every day? I know you.
You know,
I know you. I know you.
I know you.
Thank you.
For well, you know, for the stream, for everyone else, just so that they know the voice, so they know who's asking the questions. First of all, how is Shiloh doing?
Shiloh's doing great. He's back on the practice field.
Okay, good.
And he's back on getting on my nerves, so he's picking up right where we left off.
So he's back on the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Not necessarily.
Have we updated the rankings?
Yeah. I can't say that. I can't say my son. My other sons would. Yeah. That wouldn't go well in my house if I said that.
Yeah, Shell and I was talking about the rankings the other day when I talked to her, by the way. She was very happy that she had moved up in the rankings just a little bit.
She didn't pass a fitness test, so she's not up there in the rankings.
So she's back on the bottom?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, I'll have to have a word with her. Back to my actual question. You talked about expectations.
Yes.
Last week was about expectations. What is this? What are the expectations for this next game, and where do you expect this team to go on the road?
Well, last week wasn't about expectations. Last week was about winning. This week is more about expectations than many of the other weeks, because there's an expectation that we have of ourselves to go in and win this game. You want to win every game, but I mean, you really expect to win some games a lot more than others. This game, we expect to run the football. We've shown that we could last week. We expect to throw the ball successfully. We've shown that we can in its totality during the whole season. We've shown that when we take something away, let's dedicate to taking something away. We could stop the run. Yeah, they got a couple bounce out, and the guy made an incredible run. That was an incredible run. Other than that, you take away those yardage, we did a pretty good job in stopping the run. Expectations is to shut the big plays down, scramble plays where they break, contain, and the kid did a great job. That's why he won the Heisman Trophy last week. But if we stay in our zones and stay with our man, that doesn't happen. So the expectation is to do your job for the 4 to 5 seconds that play involves you. So our expectations of ourselves are a lot more lofty than expectations that you may have of us. But we have tremendous expectations for this season. And we're just getting started with it. We really are.